I,
Hello and good morning, everyone. I am joined right now by our head men's basketball coach, Mike Newell. So, Coach Newell, how are you doing today?
Joe, I'm doing great. You take off and get three big wins in the conference. I've been doing this a long, long time, and that's the first time that we opened up conference having not played any games at all. So, and really only had 5 practices. We were off, I think, a total of 62 days from the time we quarantined. Kids went home on November the 23rd, I think, and then didn't come back till January the 4th. And we finally got started practice January the 5th. And we had 5 practices to get ready for really the 6-game conference. So you can't afford to lose a game because you're out of the championship. So we're still in the hunt. We're 3-0, and I can't tell you how proud I am of this group, because I tell you, that's hard to do. Really is. That's quite an accomplishment.
For sure. 3 wins after 5 practices. You'll take those odds, huh?
That's true.
So we'll get briefly into how was it playing in the Roundup and in that bubble sort of format. It had to be kind of different than anything you've ever experienced before, being a college basketball coach with no fans and
no doubt. And I tell you, hats off to Talladega College. They did a great job of hosting, and that Billy Hawkins Center is first class all the way. And it made me a little jealous, but it was a lot of fun. Of course, I enjoy that because it's just like a national tournament. You get a chance to watch the other teams, and with me being a national Raider, it gave me an opportunity to see our teams play, all of our conference teams play 3 or 4 times. And so that really helps me on rating the teams in our conference. But it was a great 3 days. Our kids really enjoyed it. And of course, there's nothing like winning. And so I'm really happy for them. And now we've got to try to get our 10 games in to qualify. It's tough trying to schedule this COVID going on and trying to find teams that will get a date that you can both play on. And so right now we're at 3 games. We got to get 7 more. Well, we're going to get 3 more in the bubble and at Xavier. So we got to find 4 more, and I'd like to get 5 if possible.
Sure. Just to be safe, especially not knowing how everything's going to work with COVID and game cancellations and whatnot. So, well, talk to me about the way your team played. I know you started off 3-0, but, kind of evaluate, what you saw from your teams, like what things really did you like that you saw, as a coach?
Well, we started off, and of course, once again, that's why you play. Usually we would have played 12 to 13 games, non-conference games. And to open up conference and knowing what's on the line, it was because you don't know, you don't have a rotation. You don't have, all the new players you think but only through practice. Well, we only had 5 practices. And then, under fire or under pressure, you don't know who can play and who can't. Some kids can, when there's no pressure, they're all Americans. But when there's pressure, then they sort of drop their game down. And so it was, as we started off against Philander, they once again good team. They took Xavier down to the wire. Xavier won by 2, I think. And I think Talladega beat them last night by 12 or 13. But we got off to a slow start, and excuse me. Then we had a little run, and then we got down, and then we caught fire there in the last 2 or 3 minutes, and Malik hit a 3 at the buzzer at the half, and to put us up by 3. And then the second half, we started running our sets and getting to that second and third and fourth option. So when you do that, it really helps you as a team. and because you're not turning it over, you're not taking bad shots. And we jumped up again by almost 18 or 19, I think. And then Philander started pressing, and we started taking bad shots at the end of the press. And so next thing you know, they were within striking distance, 8 or 9 points. And I think we ended up winning by 10 or 11. But so Philander, so I thought, okay. And see, the other thing is too, there in the bubble, you don't have a chance to go practice. We would have normally found a gym to practice in the next morning before we played at 5 o'clock. So we watched film and talked, about, all our strengths and our weaknesses and things such as that in our individual, what we were trying to do. Tougaloo, same type of thing, and about the same type of game, except we were down 9 at halftime. And once again, we came back and at halftime got some things corrected and came back, actually tied it up or took the lead in the first 3 or 4 minutes of the second half. And once again, got up several points and then held on for another 9-10 point win. And then, so once again, some more film. We got 2 games under our belt. And then Rust is a very talented team. In fact, Talladega, Rust missed a 3-pointer, wide open 3-pointer with about 2 seconds to go that would have beaten Talladega. And then they took, I believe they went into overtime with Xavier. So we came out and that first half, we jumped on them and then we controlled it, 4 points. And then the second half was just, we could have beaten a lot of teams. We played really well, good shot selection, got our break going, played great defense. And, but we had some kids, Joe, over the last 3 days. I was really pleased with Malik Amos, his effort. That's the best effort. Now he's got to still get better, but at least he's starting to give me some effort on the defensive end.
Yeah.
And so I was really, and he played a little bit less selfish. And so if we can continue to improve his game, but we got some Xavier McKay. I'm so happy for him. He's a 5th-year senior. I redshirted him as a freshman, and he's not going to come back next year because, he's a pre-law student, a great student, and so he's got to move on. So I'm so happy for him because I wanted him to have, go out with a great year this year, but not as a team, but also for him to be able to contribute. And I tell you, he did a great job in the Tougaloo game. And then he came back and I started him against Rust, and he had the best game of his career. And not only did he have the best game, but he played with intelligence and played under control. And the results is what you get. He had a great game. Darrell, he's a load. He should have a chance to get Player of the Week, but he's a graduate transfer, so he already has his degree, and so he came and he rebounding, scoring, even he was like a 45% free throw shooter at Pikeville, and now I think he's at 75 or so. So he's focused on that. And he's got great leadership. He's one of those graduate transfers that's been around, and he come from a winning program in Pikeville. And then Rajon Billingsley, another young man that is a heck of a talent, and he had 3 really, really good games. And we got to get him to the offensive boards more, but he shot the ball well. And when he doesn't force shots, then he's a very, very good shooter. And but he'll learn. As I said, he's, all kids who come from JUCO or even high school kids, it's a different level and it's a good level of play. And so you have to learn, what you can do and what you can't do. But he did great. Elijah, I thought, played played in spurts, but he had, I think, 10 or 11, Elijah Moore had 10 or 11 big rebounds yesterday. Armand Economou really came off and gave us great minutes, and had made some big assists, took a couple of charges, and that's what we need from him. And so we've got a good bench, and we've got a deep bench. And Anthony McIntosh came in the Tougaloo game, I believe, or maybe Philander, and gave us some good minutes. The little freshman, Mackay Pope, he came in and yesterday and got Kristen. He was first time he'd ever played, but he didn't look nervous, so I was proud of that. And but we've got some guys, as I said, that we're very excited about, and the wins. We're starting to play as a team and work together, and that's what we want.
Okay. And obviously it was a great first 3 games, but as a coach, you're always looking to improve. So what are some things you're looking to improve on, like as you go into the next set of games, like some things that you said, you know what, these are things that we can, we're not a finished product yet?
Oh, we're by far not a finished product, but I saw improvement each game, and that's without practice. So that's just from visual learning from the film, and also listening to us coaches, Coach Ashanti Gray and myself, of okay, look, visualize this. This is what we need you to do. Our defense was excellent. In the second half of Philander and Tougaloo, we ended up winning by in the half. I think both halves. In fact, all 3 halves, we were 20 points better, and because we picked up the intensity on defense. So we've got to continue to get better defensively. What I try to do, Joe, is I tell my players all the time, my job is to help you get better individually. And if I can do that, and as you get better, then our team is going to get better. But I think we got to get better on ball movement and understanding that the sets that we are running, we got to be able to consistently get to that second, third, and fourth option. If the first option's not there, and we did that in spurts the last 3 days, but overall rebounding, we can get better at that. Particularly some individuals. Rajon Billingsley's got to get to the boards, offensive boards, and so Jeremiah August, he's coming back from knee surgery last year, so he's going to continue to come on and get better. Tyrus Crawford, I have high hopes for him. He's our best athlete. He's 6'8", and he's just, like I said, he's just got to keep working, and then eventually his day is going to come. So I love this group. I mean, this group here is it's as good a group as I've had since I've been at Dillard, and we've had some pretty good groups.
Yeah, yeah. You've had several very good teams over the years. You're like saying something. So speaking of good teams, and I know you're a Raider, but how do you feel, like you're getting votes in the top 25, you're receiving more and more votes each one of the polls. Does that put additional pressure on the team, or how do you keep everyone grounded to not read into the hype and everything else like that? So,
well, I try to keep them posted, and we try to set goals and have some objectives. And of course, one of our goals is to get into the top 25, because every year that I've been here at Dillard, we have been in the top 25 most of the year. And so that's one of our goals. I show them what I think has to happen, and then so we put a plan together, and now we've got to work it. So and if we work it, it still might not happen, but the harder we work, the better chances. And that's what I want them, because that's a life lesson for these kids, or young men, I should say.
Okay. And also, a very historic milestone for yourself. This past Monday, you won your 100th career game here at Dillard. So how does that feel?
Well, it feels good. I didn't even know it. We're sitting at one of the games, and Tyrus Crawford looks up and says, "Coach, congratulations." I says, "For what?" He says, he showed me his phone and had a picture of myself and 100 wins. And he said, 100 wins. And I said, I knew I was close, but I'd totally forgotten about it. The 3 that we got were the most important. So, but it is neat. Like I said, I've had a lot of good players. And you can't, it's like I told our guys when we were talking, look, you need me and I need you. We can't, neither one of us do it alone. A coach has got to have good players, and good players have to have a coach that cares about them and that is going to teach them and coach them up. And so that's when you have 100 wins, and fortunately, I've been in this business. I think I know it's over 400. I don't know how.
Yeah, you got 419, 420 wins right
now. Yeah. So I've had a lot of good players over the years, and I've had good assistants too. And I've got one of the best ones I've ever had here with Ashanti Gray. He does an outstanding job.
He does. And also, and we can briefly get into this, like the head coach of Rust is a former one of your assistants. So how does it go to be, facing off against him?
Well, I enjoyed that one. But yes, that was, it's always, I don't really like coaching against my assistants, but sometimes it happens. And so we got the better of him yesterday, and hopefully we can continue to do so.
All right. Well, Coach Newell, I appreciate you taking the time to talk with us today.
I certainly appreciate it, Joe. And we're looking forward to hopefully we can get a game next week. That's what we're trying to do right now. In fact, get 2 in the next 2 weeks, and then we go back to the Xavier bubble. And so we'll go back to work and practice, and classes are getting ready to start. So we're excited about that. And it's trying to get a little bit back to normal. And so we're still being very, very careful because COVID is still out there, and we want to try to get this season finished.
Excellent. A special greeting. We're joined by Elijah Moore here. So Elijah, how are you doing right now? How are you feeling after a 3-0 start?
I'm feeling great. We haven't been able to play against another team in it's been a couple months, but I'm feeling good. We came out 3-0. I'm just excited. Words can't even express how I feel right now.
How was it to play in that sort of environment? Because that had to be different for you. I mean, like your entire life, you've had fans in the stands, you have people going crazy, and this where it's, obviously a little more quiet.
Yeah, I can't admit it was definitely different. You can without the crowd or with no fans in there, like you can, like you're able to like understand, like hearing the coaches call out plays and stuff like that. It allows us to be able to like really focus into the game, not be distracted by the fans or nothing like that. So that's how we were able to get fully locked in for all 3 of our games, and that's how we were able to pull out a win.
Excellent. And you had a very strong tournament. You averaged almost 12 points a game and 7 rebounds a game, which is very impressive. And what do you credit that to? Having such a strong performance with very limited practices.
Yeah, definitely limited practices, but actually it's just my teammates. They just pushed me to make sure I play to the best of my abilities. Be a leader on the floor, and also my coaches. They push me no matter what. They do not allow me to dwell on my mistakes. Just get it back and just focus on the next play.
Excellent. And, kind of evaluate where you think the team is at right now after starting the season 3-0.
Definitely we still got some work to do, no doubt. But right now, after this past week, we just had a great first start. This is just the beginning for us.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time before practice to talk with me. So thank you.
I appreciate that.
So Darrell, welcome to the Dillard experience. You guys just got back, went to Talladega, went 3-0. So kind of talk about your experience playing in an environment maybe, that you never experienced before, where there was no fans in the stands, but your team play was excellent.
It's totally different. Something that I'm starting to adapt to and get better at. I'd say for our team, it showed a lot of character about us. It showed that we support one another. It showed that our bench was involved, and we didn't really need fans at that point. We were just feeding off of each other's energy. So I think that was the greatest team experience to pull from that, honestly.
And excellent. I mean, especially because you had only like 5 practices, and it looked like you guys were already in mid-season form, the way you guys played. I mean, and obviously basketball, there's ebbs and flows, but for the most part, you guys played an excellent 3-game tournament. So
honestly, I think we all shocked ourselves, to be pretty honest. We jumped on Philander the first game. We didn't finish too well, and then I think at some point during the second game, we had a decent league where we maintained it better. And then at that third game, we jumped up again, and then we maintained that cushion for the rest of the entire game. And it's like the more we play, the more we're learning from our mistakes and correcting ourselves for the next game forward. So, I mean, we're catching on pretty quick.
Excellent. And you in particular, you had an excellent 3 games. You're averaging almost 19 points a game and 12 rebounds a game, including one where you had 21 points and 18 rebounds. In that game, did you just feel like you were in a great rhythm, or did the game just kind of come to you naturally?
In the beginning, I was getting in the zone a little bit, but I'd say that our coach has been emphasizing that we need a rebounder. And I'd say that I've been putting that in the back of my mind before every game. And me going to the boards led to some of those points. It just wasn't, post or ISO game, but actually just hustling for the extra points and getting putbacks. So it just one correlated with the other one and worked out perfectly for me.
And your shooting has been phenomenal this year. You're shooting 75% from the free throw line, 71% from the field. Both are excellent marks. Especially the free throw percentage. I heard that, that's something you really worked on hard in the offseason.
Yeah, actually, I say we've been putting more work in it like throughout the fall than the actual off season. We work on free throws every single day. So I try to take that seriously, and it's paying off in the games. And I just get to my spots and where, I can execute an offense, block the block, the elbow area, and just get to my zone where I could make shots that I know I could hit.
And also, this will be the last one for you. You're also very active on social media, and you are quite the character. Anyone that doesn't know who you are quickly knows who you are through your posts off things that Malik says, things that Malik does. So, have you always been a bit of a comedian?
Yeah, somewhat. Yeah, I guess you could. Yeah, I say so, yeah.
Well, we appreciate you taking the time to talk with us, and congratulations on a great start of the season. So thank you.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
So, Rajan, you guys coming off a 3-0 start, playing Talladega, probably an environment you aren't really used to as far as, it's a very sterile environment. You're used to playing in front of amount of fans and whatnot. How do you get yourself or keep yourself motivated in that sort of environment?
Well, I can speak for myself personally. I personally like being in the gym anyways, regardless. I spend countless hours in the gym when there's no people in there. So it's really just basketball for me. I love basketball. So anytime I get a chance to compete, and obviously my teammates, anytime we get a chance to compete, we take it as serious as if there was fans out there.
And the team played well, and you also played well individually. I mean, you're averaging 16 points a game and almost 9 rebounds a game right now. So this was really the first look anyone had at your game. Is that the sort of player you are? Are you a guy that can kind of play a little inside, a little outside? Because you're shooting, I think, almost 50% for 3-point range right now too. So.
Yeah, I just try to be as versatile as I can. Coach has done a great job of putting us in position to score the basketball at numerous positions. So, and he's also used me at different positions. So I just try to be good at every position I'm at, or try to be my best at every position I can, and just kind of just play basketball within the offense.
Excellent. You're one of the newcomers to the team this year as a transfer in. So what's your feeling after the first 3 games of the season? Looking at your team, looking at your teammates, What's your expectations for this team?
I personally think sky's the limits for this team. We're a group of guys that like each other. It's been a short number of time, but we've gelled well. Off the court, we're always laughing, messing with each other. So I feel like that correlates to how we play on the basketball court. And with this team, if we continue to work hard and continue to follow what coach is doing, I feel like we can do whatever we set our mind to.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time to talk with me today. So thank you very much.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you.